You sound like pre-K, but when you are sleeping. Today we're going to verify how to calculate the R coefficient. So I would like to begin this lesson by asking what the R coefficient is used for. What's the purpose of finding the R coefficient?
To see if it is a correlation.
To determine, to find if there exists or not a correlation between variables. In this particular case, what kind of correlation? Because it is not any correlation. Tell me?
A linear.
A linear correlation. Yes? That correlation can be measured in different levels. You remember? What are the levels of the correlation? Very weak, weak, moderate, strong, or perfect. When it is 1. Now, remember there are some steps in the formula. It is SXY divided by the product of S of X and S of Y. Gabrielita, how are you, sweetie? Now, this SXY is named covariance. The covariance doesn't belong to the syllabus of this class, but we are going to study it. Why? Because it is necessary to show full math in your internal assessment project. Now, I need to find the covariance of X, the covariance of Y, that is this one, and the combined covariance. Once I have this number, and this number, I can perform this. And that will be all. It won't take a lot of time. It won't be difficult. You just have to keep on mind the formula, and that's all. Clear? Now, it's time to open your books to page 227, and we're going to work on exercise 4 from that page. 227, exercise 4. So, Carolina, please.
The table gives
Exercise 4.
8 students complete examination papers in economics and biology. The results are shown in the table. Find the correlation, coefficient R, and comment on your result.
Okay. Before finding the coefficient and keeping in mind that this is related to internal assessment project, you have a table. Students score in economics, score in biology. Can you create a project around this set of data? How will it be? What will be the plan in the task of a project including this one? Tell me? Let's begin with math. In order to perform some calculations in no time, I need your calculators. And the first thing I need, it works, I need the mean of each set of data. Yes, I'm going to name the first one X, the second one Y, and the first thing that I need is the mean of the set X, the mean of the set Y. How do you find it? I know you find it in calculator. But what do you do in the calculator? You add all items and you divide by, that in this case is, so we need that. That will be necessary during the whole problem. N is equal to 8 for this case, okay? Tell me.
6.6.
Thank you so much. So, with three significant figures, with with 4 significant figures. Yes, I'm gonna tell you why 4. Why 4? Give me a second. 50 point.
25.
Does anybody can remind us why are we going to use 4 significant figures? But why? You remember? At the end, how many significant figures will you use in the answer? 3. As you are going to perform operations over these numbers, remember that if you need an answer with 3 significant figures, the process will be done with 1 more. So at the end you can round. So in the whole process you need 1 more figure. Clear? Now let's begin with the work. S of x. There are 2 ways to do it. If I remember, this was the one that we used. Yes, the sum of the x squared divided by n minus the mean squared. Now, what will it be in our case? So I have s of x, and it will be equal to the sum of the x's squared. What that means? 64 squared plus 55 squared plus 43 squared plus 84 squared plus 67 squared plus 49 squared plus 92 squared plus 31 squared. That's the sum of the x squared divided by 8 minus 60 and 63 to the second part. Could you please stop it? And this one will be square root. Yes, I must write this one and this one. So this is the replacement. Yes? I just replaced values in the formula. Now, as you have been doing this simultaneously in your calculators, what is the sum of the x squared? 200? 341. Okay. Divided by 8 minus 60 and 63 to the second power. Yes? How much is this?
20.4.
With 4 significant figures. Tell me. 32,341 divided by 8. It must be 4,000.
843.
4,043? With a decimal. No, you're completely right because you rounded. Because it is 0.625. Guys, could you please pass calculator? Minus 60 and 63 squared. Now, I will ask you to find this whole expression in the calculator. Square root of this minus this. And the answer with 4 significant figures.
49.
20, 49. That's what I obtained when I put that in the calculator. Up to this point, is it clear? Is it clear? S of x is equal to 20,
Teacher, we have 39.
which the answer of this one
16.
is not 2049.
It's
So
19.16.
do I have 19.16? The rate is here. Now, what do we have to do? Now, what do we have to do? We have S of x. We must find the next one. So let me. Is there any difference between the formula? If you analyze, it is exactly the same. So, the advantage of being in a board, I just have to erase some parts. You have to write again. I erase this. So, what is the S of y? 53 squared. Yes, S of y. You are right. 42, 44, 79, 75, 52, 84, 29, and 57 and 25. Clear? Now, sum of the squares.
20,976.
Now you understand why those third, fourth, fifth grade lessons about reading numbers were useful? 5725 squared.
¿Cuál de la que era la anterior?
Now, division. This divided by this.
300, no, 3,622.
3,022.
622.
And now, this complete. Tell me.
18.56.
18 and 56. So S of y, 18 and 56.
Wait.
Okay. Ladies? While you finish taking notes, I will go to the next one. Sxy. It will be the sum of xy divided by n minus, this is the mean, and this is the mean. And we have those numbers. So it won't be a problem.
Teacher, I found on the internet a video that shows how to do that, but like on a chart,
Yes.
and it's more.
It can be done. Remember that I can, and in fact we are going to do that. I can do it as a chart in the calculator. I can put the information in the calculator and using formulas on top in order to find it. But remember that in your internal assessment project, you must show full math. That's the reason why I need you to understand how to do it in this way. I did it Probably in a prior class we did it by using a table.
Yes.
Yes? But on internal assessment, full mark.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
The first line.
Just keep your trust and
Only the first line. Okay, SXY. SXY will be
the first.
the sum of XY divided by N minus the sum of X divided by N. But we know that sum of X divided by N is the mean. How do you find the mean? Adding the values and divided by N. And the sum of Y divided by N. And that is the mean of the other set of data. Now, so this one will be a little bit faster. What is the sum of XY?
30.
No, but I need to show the sum,
The sum.
the term.
X times Y. So,
Okay, so it will begin 64 times 53 plus 55 times 42 plus 43 times 44 plus
84.
this multiplied by this plus this multiplied by this plus this multiplied by this up to 31. That poor guy failed economics and biology. Divided by 8 minus. Do I have to write the whole sum again? No. I have the answers here. So, what is the sum of X divided by N? 60 and 63. And what is the sum of Y divided by N? 57 and 25. Now, what is the sum of XY that you have performed in your calculator? What is this plus this plus this plus this?
30,430.
30,430. Yes?
Yeah.
Divided by 8. Minus 60, 63, 57, 25. Now, this divided by 8.
Oh,
3,803 and 75.
no, it's 3 point.
no, olvídalo, perdón. No.
3.8.
This is 30,000. This is not a decimal point. No.
3,803.75.
And finally, that minus the product is
332.7.
tell me
332.7.
332 and 7. And I will write it here. S of xy is equal 332 and 7. Clear or not? And we finish.
¿Ya?
We almost finished.
No. Falta el R value.
The R value, but the R value is there, and you have the values obtained. So you just have to replace.
You just have to replace
Only the first line. Only the first line.
No, eso es.
Ready?
¿Cuál es
Okay. Based in our previous work, we just have to replace. What is S of xy?
300.
Divided by
0.9.
and what is the value?
0.9.
With three significant figures?
937.
936. Clear or not?
So
There
there's
you
a
see.
strong.
Is that strong?
So tell me,
Strong.
there is a strong correlation, a strong positive linear correlation between these two sets of data. Now, I have something else for you. Something else about the regression line. I will ask you to open your books to page 229. And you will find this formula. $229. Ready? And you will find this formula. What is that formula? That formula is the formula that is used to find the regression line. That's new. We have not done this previously. It turns out that if you have done the whole math to find the R coefficient, doing the regression line is a piece of cake. Why? What's the formula to obtain the regression line? Y minus mean of the set of data y equal. This is the slope. S of xy divided S of x squared. But you have those numbers here. And the linear equation that you learned in 9th grade. You remember?
Yes. Sí, 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 eso sí.
You remember that equation? 9th grade algebra?
Yes.
No, no worry. I will bring some 9th grade workshops to make you work. Now you remember. So, it is the same formula, the same activity, but with these values. So I'm going to replace y minus 5725 equal S of xy 332.17 over 1916 squared x minus 60 and 63. I'm gonna do some algebra and then you will perform the final step on calculator. Clear? If you remember the problem, what is the main task there? Isolate. What do you have to isolate? X and Y cannot be isolated, Simon. You must isolate Y. From this thing, you must get Y equal AX plus B. You remember those exercises? So, first step. This number is subtracting, so y is equal. And here I can apply distributive property. So 332 and 7 divided 19.16 x minus 332 and 7 1916 squared multiplied by 60 and 63 plus 57 and 25. So please, we're going to read it in this way. Sophia has found the regression line in the calculator by using the table. Now, you are going to perform this operation. 332 and 7 divided 1916 squared. How much it is? And as here I have the A value, I can compare. And I'm going to ask my witness today, how are they? What you obtain is the A value produced by calculator. So, with three significant figures, now, calculator, negative this expression plus this, and tell me what you obtain. And 302?
Yes.
Value of B. Yeah, we have it. Yeah, I have 230 and you have 228. Was it clear?
Yes.
But let's here we have 230. Yes, obviously when you do it in calculator, things are a little bit easier. Now, as the purpose is showing steps, I will ask you to give me only these numbers. I know the answer, but I want only this number that is subtracting. Tell me.
What number? Teacher.
Negative 54.
0.94. Why not 95?
95. Yes? 95. Sorry. And finally, this minus this.
Teacher, porque le pusieron 0 al 0. ¿Más qué? Menos 0. Teacher.
Why a 0? What 0?
Es que yo lo hice, pero no me salió un 0.
Because there's a mistake in here. It's 332 and 7. You forgot this point. So how much it is? 230. Now, compared to calculator values in statistics menu, are these the values of A and B? They are they? Thank you so much. So, as I told you, in order to verify everything was right. Sofia did it by using row 1, row 2, and the statistics menu of the calculator, and comparing the answers. What we obtained was exactly the same. But now, if you see showing full marks in internal assessment project is not difficult.
Pero tenemos
Y-
que sacar la regresión.
If this is the regression line, if in your, that's a good question. Sadly in Spanish, but it's a good question. When will you find the regression line in your internal assessment project? In fact, why did we find the regression line? No idea? I'm going to tell me. Are you, I'm gonna tell you why. We're finding regression line because of this. What is the R value? I know this is first hour, but it's supposed that at this time you have already waken up. What is the R value? This one, 0 and 936. What do you know about this value? What can you say about that value?
Strong correlation.
Now you understand why we have regression line? Why? Why did we find the regression line? You just gave me the answer. Because it is strong correlation. If I obtain here 0.15, I'm not going to do the regression line. When regression line can be valid as a model to represent data. When there exists strong correlation. Only in strong correlation. If, obviously perfect is the strongest possible. Yes? But if I have a weak correlation, does it make sense to find this? So I found this because of this. Clear? And something, please, something to take into account to develop your project. If your correlation is very weak or weak, do not find the regression line. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. These two variables are not related, but I'm going to find a line who relates them. Don't worry. Just don't worry. Clear? So I suppose that based on this explanation of the R coefficient in the regression line and what is related to chi-square test that we studied previously, you are prepared to define your internal assessment project. Clear?
Clear.